This is a 97 Honda 400 Foreman. It's acting like a two-wheel drive. The back tires are driving, the front tires are not driving. So first thing I got to figure out is if the drive shaft is spinning or not. So I've done that. The drive shaft is spinning, so that means that the most likely problem is the front diff. So the front diffs have clutches in them. The clutches are probably wore out. It's making no noise at all. So I was quite surprised when I discovered that only the back tires were driving it. So I'm gonna go and find a donor quad for a diff, and I'll tear it out of that machine first because it's not gonna have any plastics on it. It'll be a whole lot easier to figure out the easiest way to do it. So what I have here is a 1999. It's a Foreman 450, the electronic shift, which the wires were all tore out of. So we bought this as a parts machine, so I have to tear this apart anyway. So I'm gonna get in here, get this up in the air, take the tires off, pull the CV axles out, and pull that nice shiny diff out. And from what I've read, it should fit in this machine. Alright, so to get this diff out, I'm going to start by pulling the tires, obviously, and I'm going to have to pull this nut. This quad has a disc brake conversion on it, but that's not really going to change anything that I'm doing. I'm going to take the steering rods off on both ends, both sides I should say. I'm going to take the shock out because I'm going to pull the diff out on this side. So I'm hoping I can move everything out of the way. I may end up popping this ball joint too to get this whole hub out of the way. We'll see as we go. Once you get the cotter pin and the nut off, you should be able to just hit on the bottom of this with a hammer and pop that up. Don't hit the end of the bolt of on this tie rod end because you'll make it flare and you won't be able to get the nut back on. Well, so far so good. Moving the shock out of the way allows me to lift this up, and then I can just reach in and pop the CV axle out. It came out easy. So what I've disconnected is the shock, this tie rod, and the bottom ball joint. Did that on both sides. So now I'm going to work at bolt here, bolt on the other side. That bolts onto the front here. There's another bolt up here, and then if I come around to the other side, you can see, there we go. There's a bolt right there, right in the center there on the screen. I'll circle it. And once you get those out, your diff is only attached by the drive shaft. Alright, so I got that cover off. There was a bolt right there. And then there were two plastic grommets like you have on your fenders. So I got that out of the way. This doesn't have a rubber seal on it. So I don't know. It looks like someone's been in here before maybe, because I don't see a rubber seal on the back one either. So I'm going to pry up on the diff and wiggle it forward. Then I'm going to try and get it to go out on the far side, on the right hand side. So I managed to take the other one out of the other quad, the parts quad, that way. So let's give her a shot. Well, I got this all back together now, and the trick with getting that diff back in is being able to compress the spring that's on the motor side of the drive shaft. And once I got that done, I managed to get that top bolt in, And then I worked at getting that little anchor piece here put back in, and then I had to twist it a bit, and I think I put a piece of 2x4 down on the top, and I had to tap it down to get the bottom bolt, which let's see if we can see it. Right there, you can just see the tail of the bolt where it comes out. So the rest of it went together pretty easy. I found pulling the bottom part of the shock off on both sides was really helpful in being able to move parts around. So pretty much done. The tie rod end I'm going to change because it's pretty floppy, but after that I'm going to put her back together and get it back outside and take it for a run, make sure everything's working right.